they had to go.
Yeah.
They don't have no room here.
So, comment or point of information or whatever. Beth has been up for poll removal more than 10 times. She's been up for poll removal on the poll more than 10 times. It has been a repeat offense. She has violated the integrity of occupations, home foreclosure defenses, security concerns, individual threats on homes. Yeah, I don't know what. How much more stuff she needs. So, anyone else want to make a comment?
Oh.
Anything in pro, for?
For Eric.
To be honest about Eric, I thought I knew him, and when this information came out, at first it seemed very out of character. I didn't think he was gonna do something like this, or to be honest, I didn't. I mean, I thought I knew an individual. I guess you think you know someone until you know them.
So can the caveat be, if these people are removed, that they must present their appeal to the GA and give us a 1-month notice of when they'll be appearing before OLASM, just so that no polls can be stacked, we'll all have notice, and they're, so if they want to re-participate, they'll have to bring it to the GA and say we are applying to participate, and they'll have to give a 1-month notice for what meeting they'll be at.
I would say I'm going to make an amendment to that. These individuals have been, these are influential, dangerous individuals that have the ability to gain people onto their side. And I would say that they don't present it to GA. They know the process. They've been here for a long time. These are not individuals that you want to throw in with a bunch of sheep so they can get more sheep. I would say that they proposed and they put this not towards GA but to this group specifically.
But they have to give us 1 month as to when they'll be appearing before us for appeal. I think that's, otherwise they can show up to any meeting and stack it. So I think that it has to be 1 month notice for an appeal. So you have to present yourself. I think it has to go to the GA. We all need to be notified that people that have been deemed like banned from a group want to re-enter, and it should be a 1 month notice.
Jones?
So what you're then actually proposing is a definite suspension?
No, it's a removal, but
It's a
any
removal?
appeals must have 1 month notice.
And how is the appeal done? Do they go to the GA and say, I want to appeal a decision made at OLASM. I'm giving 1 month notice to say that I'm going to this
And I'm going to be at this meeting, yeah. And then
Okay.
this way we can all, that gives us all a month to kind of be like, this is what's going on. And maybe if it's legitimate, we could kind of watch like and be like, okay, well, this is the activities, this is what's in their case. And then they have to get the 75% consensus to be reinstated.
And it's regularly scheduled meetings. It would be on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 month from going to GA saying that they're going to
A month of-
reapply to OLA.
That's
To me, next. To me, this is crazy because it's like we are supporting them, their behavior. They have to be gone, not appealing for them, because we're not in a court of law. This is, especially Beth, a lot of people from social media, that in the beginning they were good to OLA, they're gone because of her. We need to attract those people back, not her. We cannot
okay,
be.
I'm down with that, but I'm saying
Not
that
appealing for
anybody
them.
that tries to ever appeal, we should agree as a group that anybody that ever tries to appeal a permanent ban, that there should be significant time because these meetings can get stopped. We have to do it. But
I think if you decide in a meeting, which is what we said, for removal, that's a permanent removal, and a suspension would be something different. That's why I was asking for clarity on this 1 month thing.
oh,
Like,
so no, we
so
want a
saying-
permanent.
Are you saying we're voting on a permanent removal or we're voting on a suspension with conditions, right? I think those are two very different things. So, I mean, voting on a permanent removal is something that we could do, or voting on a suspension. But, I mean, it's really your proposal.
Obviously, we should. But all we're saying is if anybody ever tries to overturn one of those permanent bans, it can't be just like go to the small group of 6, and then all of a sudden there's consensus. So it's
proposal.
permanent for us. It's permanent, obviously.
I think one of Dennis's questions was, what is your recourse if this happens to you? So I see it as this is a permanent removal, and then they're adding another sentence that said, by the way, the recourse if a permanent removal ever happened to you would be this. So defining the process.
Okay.
But it's a permanent removal with a defined process of what, how, what recourse. Just where do you take it?
Oh, it's over there in the corner.
So what do we do? Do people want to vote?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're ready for
Want to vote, Marco?
yeah,
Let's vote.
Nas?
Nos!
Nas!
ready for a vote.
Anyone spoken to Megan? Like, I find that all really weird.
Well, she left with that.
You think they got misled?
I find it very weird
She
that
told me she
password
didn't want to
holders.
be in the middle of everything.
She lost my
Not
trust.
picking sides.
You-
That I confirm.
Maybe they got misled.
But what about Leslie being like, this isn't a legitimate meeting?
I don't know why she said that. I didn't see where she said it.
Was she
Somebody
here?
said
Did she come
said
here at
it
one point?
because it wasn't
She
posted.
told Nas.
I didn't see it.
So,
It was consented at the last meeting that this would be the meeting. This one here.
Yes,
yeah.
right
Yeah,
here,
And everybody agreed. It was consensus.
right there, by those steps, right there. See, right there, the steps, right there.
We're trying to reach an agreement.
So we are by the steps.
Okay, so there's
Hey.
a vote about to be taken, so everybody please come. It's a very contentious sort of moment, I think, in the history of OLA, 'cause I don't think we've ever really done this.
This has never happened.
Okay.
This has been
And
tried.
so-
but never happened.
So the proposal on the table is to remove both Beth and Eric permanently from OLA social media
Totally.
and the web of all social media and web related accounts.
Yes.
I don't have to.
Hey now. Hey now.
And then
You have to fill out more.
yeah. Okay, and then if you decide that you're going to appeal a permanent ban because you weren't at the meeting or feel it's unfair, the condition to come back to OLASM is that you go before the GA and say that you are going to return to OLASM meeting face to face in 1 month, and people will re-vote on that permanent ban. But until that time, you are not allowed to hold any of the passwords or administrate any of the accounts for OLA social media, as well as you're not a member of the sandbox. And so we would need to, that's why I wanted to do the other thing first, because we need to empower people to remove people. But that's a whole other condition. So yeah, so that's the proposal, is to remove Eric and Beth with these set of conditions from returning, if they so desire, through coming to the GA and getting GA involved, and then they have to come here in a month and receive 75% consensus to come back. Is that a restatement?
Yeah, and GA must have quorum, and of course, like, we should be notified of what meeting that will be at. So whoever's part of OLASM should know, and GA must have quorum. So that's-
And the why that we're voting on this is that Alyssa and Jeff have both decided that they will leave OLA social media and OLA if this continues.
Well, also because it's
Threats.
the threats.
Because of
Yeah.
the threat.
Yeah, no. An event page should be made for this, or?
I mean, we can post it in the group, or it could be posted. It's up to the group, like, how they want to do it. The live stream could be shared, or we could decide that it is quiet. Like, I don't care. Like, what I care about is
The live
not
streams are always
being threatened, not constantly having, like, personal information put online, like constantly being attacked, and having a functioning business. I mean, that's,
we have a proposal. How many people are here and voting? How many people are going to stand
can
tonight?
somebody count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I'm counting. Oh, Caleb 15. Caleb counts.
Okay, and we have a Dennis who said he was going to stand aside. I don't.
He went to his car.
Oh, okay.
Wait, we need 15 for quorum.
it passes.
All right.
Yeah. Sooner the better.
What can happen is that could be posted to global browse. I just want to confirm that their appeal process is posted somewhere clearly, so they do want to re-enter. People know how that process is happening. You have to ask Beth Kemp for the passwords to the web as well as the archives of all the blogs that we put up there. So discussion of how the new and awesome OLA website's gonna happen.
Does anybody else? Two things. One, does anybody else have these passwords? And two, does anyone want to take the responsibility for sharing what has transcribed to you today online?
I'll post the segments.
Okay,
I'll post these
so point of
segments that I'm
information.
recording.
The website's run in Drupal. It doesn't have to be, and it's frankly fucking shit as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't function to tell people how to get to us, how we work, or whatever. So it's run in Drupal. There were 4 people with passwords last time I knew. Heather Meyer, Brian Wright, Beth Kemp, and Eric Square were your web administrators. So OccupyYourMind.org was never brought before the GA as a website. So the question I think really should be is trying to recover those archives in good faith that they respect consensus, and then whether or not someone wants to build and run a new website. Or run that existing one.
I earlier volunteered to buy a domain that's related to Occupy or Occupy Los Angeles. I have no problem donating that to a group that will be forever property of the group. I'll renew it every year. It's my $8. It's fine. I would suggest the temporary move of just pointing the domain to the Tumblr because it's an easy website for group administration right now. I mean, it's a temporary solution until someone wants to put together maybe a WordPress or something that other people can deal with. That's one solution.
I don't know. I mean, we could just put the Tumblr up on the page.
No, you just point like whatever domain name to the Tumblr blog, and you just type in that domain name, and that's you get the blog.
No, I have a. It's.
I did myself. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. It's kind of a little off topic. Are we gonna have a check if there's gonna be an Instagram Occupy Labor Minute?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Is there any reasons why not to have an Instagram?
Okay, so Instagram is a platform that is easily shareable on Facebook, and kind of is a little bit more difficult to get to from Twitter. But Twitter allows you just to use your own phone in order to take a picture. So maybe we could do a trial run of Instagram and keep it with Facebook, because that's sort of what goes together in terms of sharing content. And then
You can link the accounts.
yeah, you can link the accounts, but then also it's easy later on to separate them. But because we don't have an Instagram account, it could be something that's packaged.
All right, let's take a temperature check. I think we're done with that.
With the Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay, so who wants to have Instagram temperature check?
Well, well, I wanted to say something really quick, but I think it's gonna pass. Any concerns? Hard blocks on Instagram? No. Okay. So in regards to the team, I would like that. I propose that each team, regarding whichever social media platform you're working on, that team decide how to share this information online. So Facebook team, you guys get together and you guys decide to make a sans script and etch it into a tree, take a picture of it, whatever, Twitter, do your thing. Any concerns on that? Can we get a temperature check on that? Because that way it'll solve it, and then the team itself has the power to do that. They get the power to
But would
do
that
that.
mean also that Facebook teams are begin to decide how to source information and stuff?
Well, you guys have a conversation on that. You have the conversation on that. You decide. If I'm doing Twitter, you guys do your thing, we do our thing.
So then
You decide how to
technically,
work.
so actually what we're saying here is that the admins will be able to decide
Stuff.
how, well, like, but no, because for me, like, I'm sitting here like burn the sandbox to the ground. Like, honestly, but no. The way some of the other media groups do it is there is a public group, which I think is more transparent, where people can submit information. There is a mod in there to pull people out that are causing problems, and then admins can source information from there. And then maybe the OLASM group, people that like are coming to meetings and stuff, like there's a coordination group happening there, like where people are like, oh, like I found this great story, or like, and so there's a tighter group that actually works out things like, what the hell's going on in Egypt? We're getting conflicting information, or I'm building this blog post. Does anyone want to hop on board? So you create a public forum where everyone can submit stories. There's no, and it's just moderated, and then you have a smaller forum of the actual people that are part of the committee that work together, which isn't always in the other media groups. It isn't always people. It's people that are trusted and have been ID'd by activists that are kind of like, oh.
What about crowdsourcing, instead of creating multiple groups for multiple groups, crowdsourcing information from the people who participate in the Facebook page? So OLA Facebook page posts a day, hey, what do you want to see promoted on the page? And then people can put in the comments, you know, something that they'd like to see up, or a link to something, and then you can work from there. In the smaller sandbox style group, you could then craft it into something.
You can kind of do that, but like what anti-media does is it actually posts about it in public forum all the time.
Yeah.
Because then you get people also building relationships and dialoguing. So you can kind of do both. You know what I mean? So you create these public forums where people start getting political, and you maybe have a mod that's like, hey, that's hate speech, get the fuck out of here, or like, you're a troll, or whatever, like. And then they source from there. You can also say like, hey, like there's a lot of shit going on with the government shutdown, or like, what do you want to see posted today? So I think you can combine it. But some of the the secrecy, like the private of the sandbox, is allowing some of this behavior to continue. I think if they were in a public forum with like 1,000 people, either it would stop or it would be drowned by people that actually want to win. But that's my opinion. No, it's private.
Yeah, I think make it public. I think is better. That was with horizontality.
That's an old proposal. Yeah, but that proposal was what, 2 months ago? To make it, or 3 months ago to make
Yeah.
it transparent in public?
Yeah.
And then Sean Wiggs archives everything and nobody's caring.
Like there has to be a policy that says that your comment is a personal attack and not related to improving the content of a suggested post will be deleted.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
The power to delete gets used.
I think, yeah, and
Yeah, it gets abused.
that could be something that's agreed to within the people that are running the Facebook thing. But I do agree that I think everyone on every platform needs to have access to the group that's crafting, because it's not necessarily, you know, you might want to share a Twitter post, or, you know, so the kind of, you need a communication bridge between all of these different platforms. But that could be just like a GSD group, like Get Shit Done. You know, and then from
GSD
there,
group, I love it.
and
I
so
love
if
it.
you have and you don't have a sandbox, you have GSD LA, right? And
Yeah.
everybody knows that that's the group that's where you're crafting things, and then you have a public forum that people can post in and craft things. And then, you know, I like the free likes rule, which will be harder to achieve actually with a smaller group.
But maybe it's a public forum. Maybe you can empower some people. And be like, I mean, I think if OLAGA passes an action, we shouldn't be like, hey, can we post these pictures? Do you like them? It's like
we
we're
should just
promoting the
post
action.
Hey, in
Yeah.
regards to the Instagram thing, since there's already a pretty big amount of people that want to do the Facebook thing, I'll forego my wants for Facebook and do the Instagram thing. And pretty much what I would do is just take the stuff that's posted on the Facebook pages, download it myself to my tablet so I can do it, and then send it through InstaBobby that way. So it'll just have its own redundancy.
I feel like Instagram and Tumblr could be put together too, and some of the blogs we can all collectively do. But Tumblr is also really visual, and it would really benefit OLA to have people taking the stuff from Facebook and retranslating it to Tumblr, especially the important stories.
Yeah, but Tumblr you can also make into a web page that has, click on this for a calendar of actions, click on this for the whatever, like occupiers' needs, or, so you can actually, you can create discrete web pages within Tumblr. You don't have to just have the normal blog role. And so, yeah, but I don't know. I don't think you can post from Instagram to Tumblr, can you?
I don't know. Instagram and Twitter broke up. I don't know about Tumblr.
Let me look.
But should we? I feel like, does anyone want to admin the web page? Does anyone want to build the website? You want to build a website?
Fuck yeah.
Anybody else want to admin the website? Anybody else want to? Marco, you want to work on a website?
Yeah, I'll work with you.
So okay, well, should we vote? Should we begin the voting process? Because this stuff has to be handled.
Right.
Okay, so here's where we're at. We have Benji, Joan, and Patty have volunteered for the Twitter. Alyssa, Erica, Sunshine, Marco, which you
Move to Instagram.
moved to Instagram. Jeffrey and Sergi voted for Facebook. Okay, so Marco's down here, and then the web with Naz and Marco. And are you familiar with WordPress?
Yes, definitely. Yes,
Okay, because I can also get the theme from the one that we use on Engine Occupy as well. There are other, there's a lot of themes out there that Occupy Wall Street has made and stuff, so I can
Keep it consistent.
yeah, or just
I'm open to helping.
it's just they're more sophisticated than that. Okay, so web, but we haven't just. I guess what I could do is I could source a list of possible web addresses to talk to you to about which ones might work, and then we could bring to the meeting a list of ones that are available, and people could vote on which domain name they want me to purchase.
I think you need to reserve them before even you start talking about them publicly.
I have.
Oh,
What about Tumblr?
Tumblr?
Our Tumblr's kind of dying.
Yeah.
You can point, in the temporary case, you can point
All right,
a
I'll
domain
forward the
name
Tumblr.
to Tumblr.
Jay, I have a Tumblr that's dead myself. So.
Nice.
Is there a code?
What is it? Is it?
I would be willing to do Facebook and begin helping with the longer blogging platform Tumblr if you like. So
What is it? Occupy Los Angeles.
yeah,
Tumblr.com.
Occupy LA. So and for Tumblr, the thing is